We'll just introduce ourselves, just so you have it on video. Why don't you start here?
Howdy, y'all. Again, thanks for being here. My name is Olivia Swayze. I'm a voice actor who was very recently based out of Houston, Texas, but very newly based out of New York, New York. I'm very excited to be here. I've been in shows like Kakigurui, Seven Seeds, Oshinoko, Eminence in Shadow just came out. That's a really cool show. And I got into voice acting, a lot because of my dad. We've been able to collaborate on some projects together, and that's been really special. I'm an actor by trade, and I'm really, really excited to be here today. Thank you.
All right, and thank you very much for being here. You get a little my name is John Swayze, and I am Olivia's father, and also the father of a gazillion anime characters. So both roles came very naturally for me. But I play a lot of bad guys and a lot of dads. Sometimes they're the same guy, and not in real life, of course. But anyway, just glad to be here. This is my second time to be in New York for a signing. Ulysses brought me in about a year and a half ago to our friend Omar, who has a store over in Brooklyn that many of y'all may have been to, Infinite Collectibles. And we had a great time there, and Ulysses books me into various venues and events, and I actually called him up in December and I said, hey man, I know this is a super short fuse, but we're moving my daughter up to New York in mid-January, and could we, I know Johnny is going to be over at Infinite, but if there's anything you can do, because I know how much he can hustle, and he was like, literally was like, give me a minute. And within about 15 minutes, okay, I got this place called Coexist Gaming down on 38th Street. They love to have you, blah, blah, and I got the owner right here, hang on. Hello, okay, yeah, hear that? This is John, this is like, oh God, dog, dude, slow down, man. And it was awesome, dude, it was just awesome. And it was a very short fuse, but we're just glad to be here, and so thankful that you all could come out and take the time to be here, man. So it really means a lot to us. And thanks for welcoming my daughter as your newest resident. So
Yay!
I'm excited. Yeah, got a cool little apartment. Turns out right around the corner from him.
That's perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, so we're just thrilled to be here. I have been doing anime for about 27 years, going on 28 years. I started in 1997. My very first show was a show called Golden Boy. And I did anime voice work for about 2 years. It was just another gig for me. I didn't understand what it was. I didn't know what it was. For those of you keeping score at home, that's when anime came out on VHS tapes. You could only get about 3 or 4 episodes per tape. And so to watch a whole season was going to cost you about $125. And now, of course, you can stream it for $5 a month or $10 a month and have more anime than you'll ever be able to watch in a lifetime. Plus, you got Netflix and Hulu and all these things.
That's streaming now.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I meant like you've got Crunchyroll and High Dive. I work at a company called Sentai Filmworks in Houston. I used to be called ADV Films. And hey guys, how y'all doing? Oh, y'all come on down. Oh, okay.
Take your time. Take your time.
Hold up, wrong list. But for a long time, I was just like, I don't understand why all these characters have blue spiky hair. I didn't know much about anime at all, and just kind of grew with it and started doing it. I was doing film work and commercials and everything, and then here we are, fast forward 27 years later, and I'm a full-time director, full-time voice actor in anime, and I go to conventions and signings like this about 45 to 50 times a year, so it's quite an adventure, for sure. But I've learned that, hey guys, how y'all doing?
Welcome in.
I've learned that, now I can do things like this is my wife, by the way, Dina's mom.
That's Dina.
This is my wife, Olivia's mom. Sorry, a little flustered here. And I realized, if I want to take a trip somewhere, I can just go, hey, I'm going to be coming to your neck of the woods. You feel like doing a signing at your store, and they're like, oh yeah, that'd be great. So hopefully now I can include my family a lot more in stuff that I'm doing. But anyway, just glad to be here and thrilled, and thank you all for being here. So does anybody have any questions for us as actors or?
Why did you move to New York?
Why did I move to New York? Great question. I'm asking myself the same thing. No, I do a lot of voice acting. I got into it because of my dad, and they do voice act here. There's an industry here in New York that I'm really excited to be a part of. But what fulfills my soul is being on stage and participating in stage plays. That's really important to me. And so I heard they do theater up here, so I'm gonna pursue a career on stage up here in New York. That's the idea. That's the idea. And also, you know, I am from Houston, but I went to college in Houston too. So I never did the move away into a new city, like completely on my own. And so I'm excited to explore that part of my life as well. So it's a personal and a professional move. I'm really excited about it.
Mm-hmm. And I can say that when I was 15 years old, I came to New York with my parents, and we saw a couple of Broadway shows. One of them was called Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and it featured this actress, Lori, can't remember her name, but anyway, she made the role of the narrator very famous, and I saw that play and I was absolutely blown away. Walking around New York City with my parents, and taking the subway. There's an absolute undeniable energy that exists here, unlike any other city in the world. You just can't deny it, And so I was just like, I gotta move to New York. I want to be an actor. I want to move to New York. My parents are like, that's great. Maybe a lawyer. I'm like, no, I want to be an actor. And so finally they, acquiesced and said, okay. And they supported me. And I graduated from college. I went away to college in Tennessee. I moved back to Houston and started working immediately. And started doing improvisation and comedy. Found out I had a love for that, and started doing film and television. And then it was like, God, man, I want to move to LA. And I moved to LA for a little bit, and I came back to Texas, and I was like, I want to be on Saturday Night Live. And so I'm going to take classes at Second City and go to all this stuff. And then I came back to Texas, and so I ended up now just staying in Texas because I got married, started a family, and now I'm doing anime. So really, in a sense, anime crushed my dream.
But did you know that Texas is actually the home of anime because more English dubbed anime is recorded in Texas than anywhere else on the planet? So it's not a bad place to be.
Yeah, no, it really turned out well. You've got Crunchyroll Funimation up in Dallas, and Sentai down in Houston, which is about 15 minutes from our house. So it's really turned out to be a real blessing, And so we're thrilled with it and just tickled. But I do love coming to New York because it's better than going to LA because it's New York. But it's just so, you can't just walk around in LA.
No, and you wouldn't.
And you wouldn't, no. But here you can. And like I said, there's just an undeniable energy. That is the mecca of film and television, but this is the mecca of theater. There's no question about it. So it was my dream, and now I'm going to live vicariously through my daughter. She's going to be like going, oh, you're visiting again. No need to unpack your clothes from last time. We're still here. So she may be going, Mom, please tell Dad we're coming.
Does anyone else have any questions? Go for it.
Do you have any musicals you want to do, or just not just musicals, even just regular plays?
Great question. So there's tons of musicals that I would love to be a part of. The Lord did not bless me with a singing voice, so I probably will not be a part of those. But I have, it's all right. I really prefer straight theater and the hard-hitting, edgy work. That's something I'm really looking forward to doing up here. And I really enjoy devising new works. It's a very collaborative process, and the playwright is often a part of that process, and so to be able to collaborate with directors, actors, playwrights, everyone in one room, that's a really neat process. I got to do it in college a little bit, and a little bit I've done it professionally down in Houston, but to be able to do it in New York would be really a special experience. So I'm hoping to get in on the ground level where the new plays are being bred and born and all those things.
One of the cool things too, again, this goes back to New York being the mecca of theater. I told Olivia, because she got cast actually in a couple of plays this year, which will actually bring her back to Texas. And they were like, but you live in New York, are you willing to come back? And she's like, yeah. And there were 2 shows specifically that she was like, I want to do these shows. You know, it's not just, oh, I got hired. You know, they were very specific. But I said, you know, one of the things that's great about being in New York is you have to look at yourself as an actor, that you're an actor based out of New York now. You're gonna get auditions that may take you to North Carolina or Florida or Wisconsin or whatever for a run. But the cool thing is because you're based out of New York, it gives you that cachet that you don't have. Nobody goes, maybe we should hire some actors from Houston.
Well, I think it's more.
But when you're,
yeah.
no, I'm telling you, it gives you a little bit more gravitas, you know, it does.
I suppose so. It does sound very cool to be like, we flew her in from New York.
That's exactly it. That's my point. That's my point.
It's really cool.
It's like when you go to a convention and stuff, and they're like, you know, where are you based out of? LA. Oh, cool. Where are you based out of? New York. Oh, that's awesome. Where are you? Houston. Where's that?
It's a good city. I'm proud to be from Houston. Go Astros, and I mean it. And I don't feel bad about it. Not at all.
Remember, we live near each other.
Yeah. Truly.
He'll take over the Yankee Stadium and convert it.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, it'll be fine. I'll hide my Astros jersey under the Yankees jersey. Take it off when I get there.
we'll be the pair that goes to the Yankee games. I have my Yankee jersey on, you have your Astros jersey on. We start throwing tomatoes at us and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my friend.
Yeah. Finally, the free food that I've been waiting for. It's so expensive here. Did you have a question?
Yeah, as a parent myself, it's awesome to hear that, you know, your daughter is the one kind of following your footsteps. How was that when she brought to your attention, like, hey, I'm gonna be doing what you're doing? How did you feel about that? Because I'm anxious to see what my daughter wants to do as she gets older, and I'm hoping it's nothing when I'm doing. But obviously you're doing something that everyone enjoys, and she obviously enjoyed it, and she's following your footsteps. How did you feel when you brought that to your attention?
Thank you for asking that. You know, my wife, Dina, is also from theater, and we've just always been involved. Dina's more the backstage, stage management, that kind of thing, administration, and I'm the performance side. And we've just always felt, I mean, all 3 of our kids are interested in theater. Olivia's the oldest, and she's really the only one that wants to pursue it as of right now. But it was really, I was thrilled to death. Both of us were. I mean, we were super excited. My parents, you know, I jokingly said they wanted me to be a lawyer. But at the end of the day, they wanted me to be happy. That's okay. That's okay. That was a sign from my dad. No, we didn't want you to be happy. No, but they just wanted me to be happy. And you know, my dad, a little side note here, but my dad wanted to be a librarian. And when he met my mom, they got married and got pregnant, and he realized that going to school to study library science wasn't going to support the family. So he ended up working for his brother in the oil business, and became a salesman, and did that the rest of his life, and never got to follow what he wanted to do. So I think, even though, you know, the practicality where you're like, no, go do this, the reality was, no, do what you want to do. And you know, we know, some of you younger people may not know this, but you're going to reach a point in life where you realize, this is it. This is the only chance you're going to get at this, so do it. Why wouldn't you do it? And for me, it really worked out well, because before I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to be a marine biologist and study sharks. And her younger brother, my son, is in college, studying to be a marine biologist, studying sharks. So I've got 2 kids that are following my passion. My youngest daughter wants a realtor or something. I don't know what she got that.
She was like, I'll be rich.
She'll support the rest of us. But no, so yeah, to answer your question though, it's when she said that, this is what I want to do, we were thrilled. So it was,
We've known it since she was itty bitty though.
Yeah.
It's been obvious.
So you already saw, you were just like, yeah, we know what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
What was great when she was in 7th grade told us we didn't know what we were doing.
It's
on.
Well, it's strange because I'm sure lots of us have parents like that we, maybe join the family business or whatever. I like to think I'm taking over the family business, but I won't speak too prematurely. But it's strange, like having two parents that are in the arts. Growing up sometimes, like in high school, we would be on the way home from my shows and I would be like, what did you guys think? And maybe sometimes parents who weren't in the arts would be like, it was good, it was all right. But my parents would be like, well, let's talk notes, let's talk about what we could do.
Let's break it down.
Yeah, let's
You
break
remember
it
the
down.
second act when you walked out on stage?
But it is really special, like as like their kid to be able to pursue something that I can see has made them so happy and like has brought a lot of joy and connection into our family. It feels really special to be able to carry, that legacy on. Like not just the professional legacy, but also just like, I don't know, like the joyful legacy. Like I don't know, it's really special to me that you guys have been able to like make a family and provide for us in this industry, which is so like, chaotic and all these things. And I don't know, it gives me a lot of confidence that I could probably do the same thing like they did. Surely I can do it too. Not to minimize the accomplishments that you all have.
No, that's fine, I understand.
Look at it too, is like anime wasn't a spot for you when you started compared to how it is now.
Yeah,
Right.
No,
Nice.
exactly.
Wild. It's wild. He tells me stories. So I've only been in the industry for about 5 years, going on 6. So there's a lot of competition now, right? Voice acting has become a lot more accessible, which is wonderful for a lot more artists. And I think competition breeds progress and better artists. I think that's really important in any niche of the industry. But he tells me stories sometimes, and he's like, yeah, when I started, it was like 5 of us doing all of the shows, you know what I mean? And you can go back and look. It's like Colleen, you,
Lucy and
Lucy,
Monica.
like all these people. Yeah, Monica's a great example, where it's just like, they have so many huge roles under their belt, and it's because there were only like 6 of them doing this stuff back then, Nobody even knew like what anime really was. It wasn't like as mainstream as it is now. So I feel even more honored to like be a part of an industry and like have the roles that I do under my belt because it's so much more competitive now, and I don't know, it's really special. I didn't watch anime growing up that much. My brother did, and there's a great story about that he'll have to tell in a moment. So when I started doing it, I still didn't watch it. Like I just did it, I didn't really understand like what shows meant to people. But once I started doing it and I started meeting people at conventions and I started watching some of the shows myself, I was like, whoa, this means something to people. Like this is like, it's not just a TV show, like it's not just a sitcom. Like this is like sometimes like what gets people like through the day, through the week, through the month, through the life, and it's a really, really special thing to be a part of. And I don't know, I just feel very honored to like, just support an art that makes people happy, like it's a really special thing. But you'll have to tell the story about Josh watching.
So, my son, Joshua, was about 14 years old at the time, and he's now 19, or 20.
He's 19. He's 20.
20.
He's 20.
And anyway, we were at the house, and I walked into his room, and he was on his phone, as most young teenagers are. And of course, I was like, "What are you doing?" And watching my phone, I go, "I know that. What are you watching?" And he went, "Anime." I went, "Oh, cool. What are you watching?" Soul Eater. Oh, wow. Your old man plays Lord Death in Soul Eater, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm watching the Japanese." Like, get out. I was like, "Well, this is my room." And I said, "No, get out of my house." So conversely, I did a movie called The Boy and the Beast. And I play the Beast. And it's a beautiful movie by Mamoru Hosoda. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But it's a beautiful movie. Lucy Christian is in it, Eric Vale, Ian St. Clair, just a ton of wonderful actors, all friends. Anyway, they had a small theatrical release. So we took the family to the Alamo Draft House to watch the movie. And there's about 20 or 30 of us in the crowd, and we're watching the movie, and it's going very well, and everyone's laughing and crying, and all of a sudden, at the very end of the evening, credits roll, and everyone's applauding, and we get up, and we're all walking out the door, and my daughter, Tara, who was probably 10 or 11 at the time, is holding my hand. And as we walk out, she looks up to me and she goes, "Daddy, you are awesome as the voice of the Beast." And everyone goes, "What?" And go, "You're John Swayze?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so great. Oh, we love you. That's so much. We're here. Autograph, please, take a picture. Oh, you're the best, man. We love you, love you." And I just looked at my son. I was like, "Tara, you're going to get a new car when you turn 16. Josh is going to be riding your bicycle. A girl's bicycle."
Okay, does anyone else have any questions?
I actually, go ahead, do you have a question? Oh, you need to tell the story recording.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Dad and I often work at the same studio, Sentai Filmworks, and a lot of times we're in shows together, and so obviously, like, I can recognize his voice sometimes when I hear it, and I assume you can recognize mine.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there was one time where I was working for another director, Kyle Jones, excellent director, really, really talented guy, and I was going in, and you don't always know when you go in to record what the script is or what the show is, stuff like that. You know, you go in and they give you a breakdown, and then you kind of have to work on the fly and just, you know, rely on cold reads and stuff like that. And so I went in, and Kyle was like, this is just like a quick character, quick scene, you know, you're gonna get hit on by a character, and you'll be confused, and, you know, maybe you'll hit on the back, like, we'll see how it goes. And I was like, great, sounds good. So I put on the headphones, and you only go in and record one person at a time. So you don't see anyone else that's in the show. Some of the actors may have recorded their lines already, and some might still be in Japanese that have not been recorded yet. So we're going through the scene, and I can hear that the other character has already recorded their lines, so it's in English. And so I'm doing the scene, and then the character hits on me, and I hear their voice, and I'm like, like, I was just like focused on the scene, but I was also like, what's happening? And I say my line, and then they hit on me again. And I go, "Kyle, is that my dad?" And he's like, he's just cracking up outside of the studio. He's played this hysterical practical joke. I'm crying, he's laughing. Like, it's the worst day that's ever happened to me. It was horrific. It was horrific.
Oh, no.
Totally, my dad played a character that hit on me. I pray that they changed that. I really, yeah.
That was a joke.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank goodness. That's not the first time, though. Often we go to conventions together. And we went to this one in Florida, and Olivia Swayze, John Swayze, same last name, right? And we walk into the hotel, and they're like, "Great, we've got your room all set." And normally we get, like, you know, like 2 beds in a room, or we each get our own room, whatever. And we walk into the hotel room, and they're like, "This is you." And we're like, "It's one queen bed." And they were like, "But you're married." And I was like, "I'm going to vomit." This is horrible. And they were like, "Okay, we'll get that changed. I was like, this isn't gonna work. This is not gonna work.
We walked in, Olivia walked in before me, and she's ahead of me, and I'm like lugging my luggage in, and I just hear, "Nope, not gonna work." What's the problem? One bed.
This is horrible. Does anyone else have any questions? Go ahead.
So my question to you is, I know you said that anime ruined it for you. So like, what has been one of the most troubling things, like the hardest things as a voice actor, like as an actor in general? And for you, I know you came in after the whole family. So what has been the hardest thing for you coming in after such successful parents?
Yeah,
So,
those are good questions.
Good question. So I would like to reiterate, I was joking. Right? Anime hasn't ruined anything. If nothing, anime has helped me get to where I am. I'm indebted to anime. Really, you know, it's funny. I've been doing this so long, 27 years, and there's not a whole lot I find difficult. I mean, I don't want to say it's easy breezy or anything like that. It's just one of these things. I've just been doing it such a long time that, and most actors get cast in the same type of roles that they're gonna like. I went and auditioned for, I got cast in a new show, Spy Family.
Ooh.
It's a Spy Family movie. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it. It is. We've all heard Spy Family, so. But anyway, you know, I read for this, I did this character, but it's a kind of character that I would do. It's not a young boy or, you know, it's just, it's in the wheelhouse of where I am. So for me as an actor, I get cast as particular roles that are very suitable to my vocal range. But if I had to be honest, the very most difficult role I ever did was Salvador from Borderlands 2. Mainly because everything he did was like this. So I did that for 4 hours a day, and my voice was just shredded. You know, I was like, I'd leave the session going, okay, we'll see you later. You know, I mean, it was terrible. So that's one of the most difficult things. It's just the vocal, you know, taking care of your voice and stuff like that.
But even starting out, so like as a beginner in the whole acting scene, like what do you think like was like the most like coming in, you know, with no connections? Like I'm not trying to assume. Can you say if I say you want to be a lawyer, so I don't know how much connections you had. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, when I graduated from college, I came back to Houston. I had a degree in theater. I auditioned for a place called the Comedy Workshop and got cast doing sketch comedy, and then eventually got an agent. And that was in '87, and worked for about 6 years, and got a couple of big films, stuff that was coming through Texas. And then in '95, I really started to market myself hard and realized that the only person that cares about my career really is me. If Ulysses, for instance, is the agent, and all of us are his talent, and we all go to an audition, he doesn't care really which one gets it, as long as one of us gets it, because then he gets his commission. It's not that he doesn't care about us as
I love John.
but he's got to, you know, he wants to, he gets paid on a commission, so he wants to make sure that his actors get it. Whether you get it or I get it, it doesn't really matter. Now, that being said, I'm not saying he would have, I say he, a fictional agent, but he's not going to abandon anybody. But really, it's up to the individual actor if you want to, you're going to care more about your career than anybody else. So I just started really marketing myself and I really kind of jumped into the voiceover world primarily, and started doing commercials and voiceover and stuff like that. It was long before anime ever came around. It was '95. I didn't start anime until '97. But by 1996, I mean, I had gained a reputation in Houston as probably the top voiceover actor in town, and the one that hustled the most, and the one that really went after it. And you know, it's a lot of work. I mean, you know, and it's something I think that Olivia has gotten from me, which I'm very grateful for. But you know, the work of any actor is finding the job. The job is the payoff for all the work you do. You know, this is work, but this is the payoff for 27 years of being an actor. You know what I mean? Doing anime and stuff like that, and working to get your name out there and all this kind of stuff. So the most difficult thing was just getting started. But you know, once you get started and once you realize that, not that you're in control of your destiny, but you can certainly take steps to further yourself along. And I believe that in the universe, when you put something out, and it's just basic physics, if you put out something, it will come back around.
He's an actor, he's not a physicist. That's not.
Keep in mind, I cannot explain a black hole, but I can tell you.
I mean, they call that equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
Equivalent exchange, that's a wonderful phrase.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
See, he should know he's
That's what you should get a T-shirt. for that.
That's from Full Metal.
Oh, right. Sure.
That's
Okay.
fantastic, that's fantastic.
Just so you know, I don't really watch anything. I know that. People say like, "What's your favorite show to watch?" And I'm like, you know, I direct anime, watching anime all day long. I do not come home and go, let me unwind by watching some anime. I watch, my wife and I watch The Crown.
Ooh, it's the show.
I just finished Righteous Gemstones, which I love.
Dope show.
I love like Daredevil. I've kind of gotten burnt out on the MCU. Like once Thanos like destroyed everyone, and they did all this stuff, and then it's like they destroyed Thanos, and then it turns out there's somebody even bigger than him. I was like, really? Okay, come on.
Which is crazy because my brother is like so invested in all of it. He's like, Dad, what do you mean? There's so many, like, what do you mean? But that's really nice, equivalent exchange. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, so it's weird having parents that do what I do or I do what my parents do, especially because they're both so well respected and successful in the industries that they've chosen. And something really important to me, because not only is my dad well known and well respected in the voiceover world, but also my mom is really well known and well respected in the theatrical world, especially in Houston. You know, they both really built good names for themselves there. And it's like weirdly intimidating going into these situations where, I don't know, nepotism is a very, I've been very trepidatious of nepotism in both of these industries, because I know that people know who my parents are. I know that they've like been successful in the things that they do, but I also, it's really important to me that I prove not only to others, but to myself that I'm worth my salt. So a lot of times, like, I don't know, I always audition. You know, that's really important to me, is like auditioning for these things, whether they know my parents or not, making sure to prove, again, to myself and to these other people that, like, look, yes, you may know my parents, but I can do what I say, and like, I can say what I do. Like, these things are, I don't know, that has been like difficult for me. I get very anxious about it because I think a lot of people, I mean, you know, my mom worked at my high school, so like, ever since high school, people have been like, well, you just got the role because, you know? And I just be like, I wish you could come and see these auditions, and like, come and see the show. Like, I'm not, pardon my French, but I'm not bullshitting you. Like, this is, I really am putting in the work here. Like, I'm taking classes, like, I'm auditioning, like, all of these things, and that's been my biggest hurdle. Like, having two successful parents is like, proving that, like, I am more than just my name, and like, you know, I'm an artist just as much as they are. You know what I mean? And I think I've done a pretty good job of it. I like to think so. But it's been a little strange. It's been a little difficult. And it's something I feel weird talking about. You know what I mean? Because I know people think that. Like, I know it. And they may not even do it on purpose. But like, sometimes in conversation, even with other actors that I'm in a show with, and I rehearse with them, and they see the work that I'm putting in, they'll drop comments where it's like, oh yeah, well, your dad, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you see what I'm doing? Like, you've got to see the work that I'm putting in here. And they don't even do it like to be rude or to be mean, but you know, I just know people like think that stuff, and it can be weird. It's a very like, it's a funky feeling, you know. But I feel like you know, like I said, like I'm pushing myself every day. Like I really try to challenge myself. I just moved to freaking New York. Like, you know, like I'm really trying to like prove to myself and to others that like I can do what I say. You know what I mean? Did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I mean, let's say voice actors often participate in conventions to be with their fans. Can you share a memorable experience or interaction with a fan that stood out to you over the years?
A fan that stood out?
Yeah.
Just like an experience,
Yeah.
just like a memorable experience. Do you want to think about it first?
What?
The guy who came down to record you, the Wish.
Oh yeah, Dad.
That was, well, I've had a lot of things happen to me over, 10 years of doing conventions. Some very funny. Like I had one guy come up to me, and I was doing an autograph session, and he walked in the door from the back room, and he's in this beautiful mech cosplay. I couldn't see his face, he walks up, and he's just like, and he walks up to me, and I'm sitting right there, and he just goes, I don't care what anybody says, but I'm your #1 fan, and I'm about to go fanboy on you.
Hogan style.
And I was just like, what does that mean?
Oh my God.
And it was, you know, it's funny stuff like that. I mean, we got, this is one, and this is, you'll have to, this is a little more blue, but this is still one of my favorites. One of my favorite lines is Salvador from Borderlands 2.
Your whole family's here.
I know, and we're videoing. That's okay. Everyone, any convention I've been to, I tell the story. But Salvador is in his moment of gunsurgery, and he's got both his guns out, and he's just like this, and he has this sort of orgasmic experience, and he just goes, "It's like having 3 dicks." Okay. So there's that. So one time I was at a convention down in Miami, Florida, and I'm at my table signing, and this guy walks up, this group of guys, they drove down from Miami, Florida, to from Miami, Ohio, to Miami, Florida, just to get my autograph. And I was like, wow, that's very impressive.
Awesome.
And we have something for you. And they pull this piece of wood out about this big, and it's a wood burn of this character I had done named Wong from Darker Than Black. And I was like, oh, that's very cool. Anytime fans bring you something, especially if they made them, it's always very
It's so cool.
heartwarming.
It's
and
like
stuff
so
like that.
special. You like
It
want to
is.
cry. It's
It
like,
is.
you
You're
did
like,
this for
oh,
me.
so, you know, they took the time to do us. They said, well, we have one more. And I said, okay, great. And they pull out another wood burn, and it says, it's like having 3 dicks. I was like, I'm sure my wife will love this. We'll just put it up on the mantle here, right here, honey, you know. But I think probably the most heartwarming thing that ever happened to me was I got a phone call from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And there was a young man, about 20 years old, who lived in Illinois. And he had a project, he was a big anime fan, and he had a project that he was working on. And he loved my work, and his make-a-wish was to have me voice one of these characters in his project. And so I talked to the studio that I work at, and we're actually owned by AMC Networks, which is Walking Dead and all that stuff. So I had to get approval from them and all this stuff. And we got approval, and they brought him down with his mom, and we came to the studio, and we gave a little tour of the studio, and then went in, and he directed me. And then he wanted to do another character, and I directed him, and it was a lot of fun and very heartwarming. We all went to dinner together and had a just a delightful time. But I don't know if y'all are familiar with Make-A-Wish, but that is they're usually a terminal.
Tell me not.
And it was about a year and a half later that I found out he passed away.
Aww.
It was very sad, but it was just such a it was a beautiful experience.
Very
And
cool.
that's something I'll never forget.
Done footage. You guys put together.
The footage of what?
What you guys recording together.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I would love to. I mean, he hadn't really gotten that far along in it, but I was like, God, I wish I could, kind of create. It was just a short, but just create this for you and get it animated and whatever. But it just was unfortunate, but it was just still it was a beautiful moment.
There's a lot of really beautiful things that happen like between fans and voice actors, especially at conventions. Before I really got into voice acting, I would still go to conventions with my dad and just kind of be there and be like, wow, like there's a stormtrooper over there, like that sounds cool, But I would watch him at his table, and I would see people come up to him often, and they would just be like shaking or crying, and just be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to meet you, this is such a cool thing for me. And normally I would just be like, that's my dad. What do you mean? It'd be so for real right now, Love you. And it was, there was one experience in particular that was really special to watch. This fan came up to him, and they were crying, and all of this stuff. Dad was like, hi, it's so good to meet you. I'm glad you're here, and all of these things. and they were like, you have no idea like how often I've like watched you in my living room, like for how long, like you have been a part of my life, and like you play all of these like dads on the shows that I love, and it's just been really, really special. And they're like crying, you know, like it's been so special. Like you've been in my living room like every week for the past like however many years. And you know, like anime has just like, it's helped me out in very, very like real, like life altering ways, like multiple times, like, you know, like pulled me back from the edge like multiple times. And it was just like, I was watching this happen and I was just like, it's crazy that like he's my dad, but like he's other people's dad. Like he just like helps other people too, like just like through his artistry, which like as an artist, I think that's one of the greatest accomplishments you can have, is affecting people in that way, and like being able to like create and share love and joy in ways that like affect people internally. And just like that is like part of why I want to be an actor and want to be an artist, is like seeing you have experiences like that. I'm like, that's insane. Like I didn't know that anime could affect people in that way. I didn't know that. And like, you're such a great dad to me. Like, it's so cool that like you get to be like other people's dad, like through your medium, you know. It's cool. I mean, like even Hohenheim, like, you know what I mean? Like there are bad dads out there, right? But like, it's just, it's, I don't know, it's a really, really special thing. And
you know, it's, thank you for saying that.
yeah.
People like Hohenheim or Gendo from Evangelion, or a couple others. You know, it's interesting. People are like, you're a bad dad. You play bad dad. So I'm like, you know, it's interesting. If you really look at their character, they may seem like a bad dad, but whatever they're doing, they're actually doing it out of some weird, bizarre love for their children. But they just don't see what they're doing as wrong, because it's like the ends, no matter what, the ends justify the means. And I mean, I would even say, in a way, I think All for One's the same way. You know, I mean, it's just, Eric and I did a panel together one time. We were talking about that. Saying, you know, when people are that evil, they don't see what they're doing as evil. They see what they're doing as the way to get what they want done. This is what I want to accomplish. This is how it's going to happen. Pure and simple.
Yeah.
Did you have a question?
So this would mean that All for One took on Shigaraki as his adopted son of sorts, and the League of Villains are sort of like his adopted children.
Right. Well, I think that he looks at Shigaraki as, I mean, he looks at him like his son, but you know, he wants what he wants, and he wants what he wants for Shigaraki, even though it's really for his own benefit. Yeah. You know, yeah. Anybody else have a thought? Yeah.
Good question.
Keep with the questions.
Can you describe a particular challenging role or project that pushed you to grow as a voice actor and what you learned from the experience?
Yes.
Yeah, do you have one?
Huh.
I've got one for sure. But
I think for a while I was being cast as like, you know, like the best friend, or like the older sister, or like the matchmaker, you know, all of these things, which are fun roles. They're like very like, you know, the silly roles. But when I was cast as Kirari in Kakegurui, that, I mean, if you've seen it, you know that she's like truly clinically insane. Like she really needs some attention. And being asked to play such a dark person, like such a twisted and complex human being, was a big challenge for me. On stage I played, you know, it's not like out of my realm of right to play like a villain or, you know, a Lady M type, things like that. But doing it in anime where, you know, as an actor, you're a little bit more limited, like you don't have the physicality or the facial expressions to like help you create this character. It has to all be done vocally, which is a lot more difficult than it sounds. You know, it's really difficult. You're limited to just one medium of your creativity, and so being asked to communicate like the lack of humanity in this person, it was harder than I thought it was going to be. You know, because again, it was outside of my wheelhouse, and also I was playing her twin. And so making those two people different people, and also like maintaining their levels of insanity, it was not as easy as, you know, I think maybe it seems. it was just very difficult, like putting myself into the mindset of a real life psychopath, like someone who doesn't have the ability to like compute empathy or human emotion. That was an intense project, but I was really glad to be a part of it. You know, the show's dope, like it's so cool to watch. But playing the character was like, I want to go have a smoothie after this. Like I just need to like decharge and like de-escalate my mental state. Like this is really, really intense. So it challenged me, but I really feel like it made me a better voice actor. You know, I had to communicate things I wasn't used to communicating behind the mic, and that was a really cool experience. So.
I had two different experiences. One was kind of something like that. It was doing All for One. It was at the end of season 5, and where he's just getting Shigaraki kind of under his thumb. And I just remember specifically in particular, doing one particular episode, and after the episode, I was kind of shaking. I was like, oh gosh, that was very intense. I don't think I've ever done anything that intense before as a voice actor. Because really, again, this goes back to doing this for 27 years. You know, we go in, okay, I know the archetype, I get it, I know what I'm supposed to do, I know what he needs to sound like, and we go in and we do it. I certainly don't want to insinuate that I'm phoning something in or I'm not giving it my all, but some things just come to us easier than others. And in that particular instance, even though I've been doing All for One for a few years, this was starting, I guess it was because it was starting to get into some really heavy dialogue. You know, for the first few seasons, I didn't even know what the show was. I was just, because I'd go up to Funimation and record a couple hours of Crocodile, a couple hours Soul Eater, a couple hours on My Bride as a Mermaid, maybe doing some Walla for this show, blah, blah. And Colleen would go, I want you to be this character in this show we're doing called My Hero Academia. You're going to be All for One. And I was like, great, that sounds wonderful. And she booked me for like a 30-minute session. And I would literally, she'd tell me all this backstory. I'm like, okay, great. And then I'd walk in and my character would literally go, and we're recording. Excellent. Okay, thanks for coming in. That was great. Okay, whatever. So I don't think anything of it. And then, then he started, things started to come out. And then he went off to prison, and then we got out of prison. And they were doing this backstory with, how he got Shigaraki under his wing and all this stuff. It was like very heavy and really, really moving. The same kind of thing happened when we did the reboot of Evangelion for Amazon. We did the movies, and that was, and then we did the new movies, so now it actually has an ending. But as an actor, one of the most tangible effects that an anime had on me, and it was a lesson that I learned, kind of like, oh, this is very important. When I was doing Soul Eater, I went into audition for it, and I didn't know anything about the show at the time. And they said, you're going to audition for the role of Lord Death. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I'm sure I was doing Crocodile and My Bride as a Mermaid and some other things. It was like, Lord Death is going to be like, I'm Lord Death, this kind of thing. And I went in and I started to read in the audition, and the director's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I was like, what? He goes, listen to what the Japanese sounds like. And so I did, and I was like, oh, he's way up here like this. Okay, that makes that totally different. And so I started doing that, and it was a lesson for me as an actor that when you're doing anime, you're dubbing it into English. You don't have to mimic what the Japanese actor did, but you have to kind of be in that ballpark of what they sound like, because you want to stay true to that character. And we audition people all the time, and sometimes it's like, you were both great, but you sound more like the character than you do. And so in that case, it'd be like, I'm going to award you that part, Harley, but I'm going to give you something else, because obviously you're really good, but you're going to be maybe a more minor character. And I must share this story about Olivia, because she brought up nepotism earlier. And that's something that I'm very conscious of as a director. I don't just hand her parts and go. you're the lead in this show, you're gonna be the lead. Now, due to budget, or not budget, but production schedules and stuff like that, we don't always have time to audition, so we just have to kind of cast off who we know. And again, I've been acting for 27 years and directing for 17 years, and it's like I know who to get. And but there was one show in particular that we were doing, and Olivia was just kind of starting out, and she had done a few things way back in the day, but she was now entering her professional career. And the powers that be were doing a show, and I was directing a show, and they wanted everyone to audition. They wanted it, you know, so I said, okay. So we brought in all these different actors and auditioned them, and then we were doing a review of the actors. And, little boo. Yeah. And so we were doing this thing, and the actors were all there, and we had a little committee come in, and we sat there, and I go, okay, this is so-and-so, this is Lucy, and you know, right? I didn't even have to introduce the actors at the end of the thing. They'd all sit there, and these people all knew what Lucy Christian sounded like, what Brittany Karbowski sounded like, what Monica Rial sounded like, all this stuff. And at the very end, it was an ensemble cast, 5 or 6 girls. And at the very end, I said, hey, I got one more actor I want you to listen to. Her name was Olivia. She's kind of new, but we just thought you might want to give her a listen. And they're like, okay. And I didn't say who she was related to. I just said her name was Olivia. And I hit play, and there's like 6 people. The vice president of the company was one of them. And they're all sitting there, and I'll never forget this. I was just sitting there, and I'm nervous. I'm just watching them like, what do they think? And the vice president is hearing this audition from this girl named Olivia, and he goes like this. Yeah, cast her.
That was great.
Yeah. So she got it all on her own. It was zero nepotism. It was a very proud moment. And I didn't jump up and go, that's my daughter! You know, I was like, yeah, that's great, man. So we cast her, and she worked on the show.
Yeah, it was really special. It was a cool show. It made me feel, well, he didn't tell me that story, honestly, until like years later. Like, I didn't start hearing that story until we started doing conventions together. And hearing that, I was just like, oh, like, that's so cool. Like,
It is.
that's really special, you know? Like, it's one thing, you know, to have your parents, like, believe in you and support you and all of these things. But it's another thing to, like, hear that, like, other people are like, no, like, she's good. Like, she's, like, not just, like, making the shit up as she goes along. Like, she's worth her salt. And so that was a really special thing to hear. I really, really appreciated it. And I definitely made sure I was taking every single audition seriously after that. Not that I wasn't taking that one seriously, but I was just like, I don't know who's listening. Am I the vice president of the company? Oh my gosh.
Was it a big confidence boost for you knowing that you beat out those other actors so later on? Like, you're like, maybe I didn't know at the beginning, but now you know, like, was it like, oh, I did it back then, and I'm 3 years later, like, I'm all this much better now? Like,
When it comes, so acting is a difficult industry because obviously it's very competitive, right? But you're all artists, and so at the same time, please come down, please join us, please join us, it's okay. But obviously, like, at the same time, we're all artists, and it's, like, very important to, like, be supportive, and, like, we all collaborate together, and, like, collaboration is what makes these projects possible. And, like, you know, like, I'm a huge fan of Brittany Karbowski, I'm a huge fan of Monica Rial, like, they were so incredible, and, like, honestly, it's more of just, like, it's an honor to be in the same audition as them. Like, oh my gosh, like, how could somebody, like, how am I allowed in this room? Like, who let me in here? Like, to be in the same audition and then it's a really cool experience, and it feels very humbling. You know, it's less of a like, yes, I did that. And it's more just like, I'm so honored to be here. Like, I'm so humbled that like somebody would consider me good enough to compete with these people, you know.
and I think that's important to remember. You know, I think arrogance is definitely like the death of artistry. You know what I mean? Like it does not breed good art. Just remembering that like we're all in this together, like we're all doing the same thing, and like, you know, like yes, competition does breed good art and it does breed strong artists, but arrogance does not do that same thing. Did you have a question?
No, from what you said, this reminds me a lot of what happened when recently with SAG-AFTRA backstabbing.
The strike was it was insane, especially, you know, my dad was SAG for quite a while, especially when he was doing a lot more film work. Hearing that the strike was going on, I'm not SAG, I've done a lot more on stage work than I have done on camera work. But I was still very much like following the strike like daily and all of these things, and it was just strange. It was very strange. I think the actors were well within their rights to go on strike the way they did. They went on strike when VHS came out. They went on strike when DVD came out. It makes sense that they're on strike now that streaming is out. Like all of these, you know, changes to their industry have really heavily affected them and like the way that they make a living and, you know, stuff like that.
I
And
know, SAG-AFTRA said, we're not going to consult these voice actors. We're just going to make our own deal with AI and not consult them. Screw this.
yeah, well, you know, it was interesting because I was asking Dad at the very beginning. I was like, "What do you think about all this? Like, what do you think about AI being a part of it?" And he was like, "I don't know. Like, AI can never do what I can do. Like, I don't believe that." And I was like, "You're wrong." I was like, "You're just wrong. Like, I'm sure there's already like mimics or like there's already stuff out there on the internet of because your voice is it's all over. Like, it's not difficult to get a sample of your voice." I was like, there's probably already stuff out there that you don't know about. Like, AI is real, and this is something that we should be concerned about.
I will be honest. AI, as far as I'm concerned, I still disagree with my daughter. It cannot do exactly what I do. They can maybe mimic me, and if they ever get to the point where, hey, we can create a John Swayze AI sample, I'd be like, knock stuff out, dude. Just pay me, and you can use it all day long. I'll be on the beach. I don't care.
How about that? James Earl Jones signed over his rights to his voice to Disney.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's
Like recently or a while
that
ago?
was like recent was when everything started getting into the.
I mean,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, which, you know, if they want to use it for Darth Vader,
Well, so
and
here's
he's
the,
not around,
here's
his
the
estate will
difference.
get the money.
Here's the difference. You, James Earl Jones, like y'all are very established in like who you are.
He's
as
even
an
a little
artist.
more.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
But you guys are very like.
James Earl Jones, John Swayze,
You
right?
guys are like well established in like who you are and like you know you have those roles. But for me, I'm not gonna sign myself away. Like, what if in the future I book this crazy role, like, and I become like this huge star, but I've already given away like the rights to my voice, to my artistry, like, then I wouldn't like be able to like reap the benefits of that. And that just feels like why would I sign something away that I don't even know about?
Well, I don't, I mean, you just have to be very careful what you're signing. I mean, that's, you know, you can, James Earl Jones did it because James Earl Jones is 90-something years old. I mean,
Wow, yeah.
He's not gonna do it, you know, because
Yeah.
there's gonna come a point where he just can't get to the studio.
Well, wisdom comes with age. Today, I was getting my Wi-Fi fixed, and the tech guy came in to fix the.
Maybe you shouldn't admit to this.
I think it's a funny story. I think it goes with the wisdom comes with age. The tech guy comes in and he's like, you know, getting the scoop on what needs to be fixed. My parents are sitting there with me, and he's like, oh, I need to go down to my truck to grab something so I can finish fixing this. And he was like, do you want me to take your keys? Can you buzz me up? And I was like, no, just take my keys. And my parents were like, what? What are you doing? And I was like, no. And he was like, I'll be fine. Like, you can trust me. And I was like, yeah, just take the keys. Like, go down, come back, it'll be fine. You know, that's like, I'm literally giving away my lease, essentially. You know what I mean? And he's like, takes the keys, he leaves the room, and I turn to my parents and I go, I'm getting the Wi-Fi fixed. They're like, we are leaving you in like 2 days? You're not making it easy? Like, what are you
just
doing?
gave your house key to a stranger.
They were like, please go after him. Please go, like, solve that
And
situation.
I said, I tell you what, just follow him down and say that, hey, my dad wanted a Diet Coke for the king.
But I was like, that'll be obvious, that'll be transparent. So I followed after him, I called the elevator down, and I was like, my parents said I shouldn't have given you my keys. Like, I don't know, I think they might be right. Like, I probably shouldn't have done that. And he was like, I'm not going to do anything sketchy, but they're right. You should not. You just give me my keys. Like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, okay, life lesson learned.
Hey, listen, if you watch my car, I'm gonna run into the store.
Don't worry about it, I'm gonna give you the keys.
And if, listen, if something happens,
man.
we're gonna have, I live in that building, apartment 1K.
Let's just let it go.
That's wild.
How do you think it's gonna affect anime moving forward? You think it'll
The AI?
The AI thing will into the industry more?
I just don't think there's enough technology available for AI to do what actors can do.
I guess it's not
When
like
you-
AI
when you-
continues learning.
You can pull up on the internet, and we've all seen it. Moving mouths.
You can't even do
I
it.
can't see that. Yeah, it's gonna win.
Yeah.
Moving mouths will go. Blah 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 was an important figure in history. He did things, and it's just like it's also monotony, and so they can't.
I hear you, but like I think that there's things that you maybe don't know about, like deep fakes on the internet, like images and news stories that you've seen that are based
Of
on
course,
things
yes,
like
fine, that's fine, yeah, there's tons of
Good
stuff I
answer.
don't know about. I'm just saying, in mainstream, that is not, AMC Networks is not gonna go, don't bother hiring him. We've got his voice. They can't do that, because I didn't give you authority to use my voice.
fair.
Now,
But that's what the system's about.
it is, but it's more about image based.
It's
more
true.
about going-
It was less about. It was about can we use Carrie Fisher's image after she's dead, sort of thing.
Or background.
Yeah, can we buy you now? That way
I'm
when
gonna
you
get a
get famous,
picture
we
of
don't have
you
to
all,
pay you.
and I'll pay you your $35 for being an extra today. But what I'm gonna do is, now I'm gonna take that image and use it in 20 different movies
Yeah.
as a crowd scene.
I don't
So
know.
that's what really the AI stuff is about.
I
Or I'm
think-
gonna create different things using the images I've got of you.
Yeah, and I see you, but I also want to say that like I think again like the what's the word, the capitalization, like I don't know, like the capitalism that has like really become like interwoven with art and film and all of these different mediums. I just feel like it's destroying like why these things exist, like like these exist, like I said earlier, like anime, like when it makes people happy and like when it like spreads joy and positivity and just like I don't know, just like emotions that like benefit you in a really wonderful way, like capitalizing on that stuff and like trying to figure out how you can make as much money as you can off of these things is like you're losing sight of like why we do this. Like that's not it. Like it's not about, yes, obviously the money like benefits people hugely. It's like why it allows people to be artists full time. But like that's not why these people are doing it. Like they're doing it because of the human connections and like the human reflections that happen. And it just it bums me out to see how much capitalization is happening. Like it bums me out.
I have to disagree a little bit with you. I'm not sure Tom Cruise would ride a motorcycle off a cliff, which he does his own stunts, 80 years old or however old. Part of the reason he does it is because he gets about $20 million a minute. to do
That's
it.
Bruce Willis.
So,
Just how
I
Bruce
think,
Willis.
I hear what you're saying, I
Yeah.
really do. But let's, films exist because somebody wanted to make money making them, not
Right.
because a bunch of actors said, hey, that was the whole United Artists was, Charlie Chaplin and, Mary Pickford and, Buster Keaton. They started all this thing because they wanted this industry to be about the actors, not these executives.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the old saying, he who pays the fiddler calls the tune. It's, if you got them, you wanna make a movie, great, I'll bankroll it, but here's how we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna put in $120 million, I sure as hell wanna get my $120 million back, plus a little something extra, So it's, I hear what you're saying, but
No, I
it's,
hear what you're saying too. I don't like it.
I don't know.
Yeah, so voice acting often involves adapting to different styles of animation and storytelling. How do you tailor your performance to fit the specific tone and aesthetics of a given project?
How do we
You're
tailor
not
our?
killer questions over there.
Are you doing a live thing?
No, the questions I have.
But what was that, I didn't hear the last one.
So how do you tailor your performance to fit the specific tone and aesthetic of a given project?
Okay, so this goes back to me anyway, this goes back to what I was talking about doing Lord Death and listening to what the voice actor does. one of the things that we have to remember, especially in this genre, is we are dubbing this into English. So that's why it's important for us, to me, as an actor, to stay true to what the Japanese actor originally did. Because they're the ones that created the project to begin with, or the image, or the character. So really for us, all we're really having to do is listen and watch what the anime character's doing. If they're excited, we need to be excited. If they're sad, we need to be sad. We don't have to bring, I don't want to say we don't have to bring emotion to it, because we do. We have to match, though, whatever's doing there. But as developing that character, we're not having to decide how would they react this way. You know what I mean? Because it's already been decided.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is now bring exactly what Olivia said, bring your vocal performance out to match what is actually happening on screen.
That's where the tailorization comes in, is it's like, nobody has a voice like your voice. Like, everybody's voice is so different, right? And so just like your vocal performance being a part of the process, like that's where the uniqueness and like your like personalization to the character comes in. Like you're definitely still staying true to like the Japanese actor, like Dad said. It's just the fact that it's your voice, or it's your voice, or it's your voice, or it's your, like that's where it becomes like very unique. So, yeah.
Does anyone else have a question?